Welcome back. This is Zephyr, and before I play a little bit more of this mod, I want to show what I've done with it. So this is just a mechanics update, kind of overview update. So first of all, a few episodes ago, somewhere early on into this mod, I decided to name the mod, to Diablo 2 Distilled. I'm trying to sort of say distill it into its most basic elements. I'm trying to balance it in my own liking and make certain things just either easier to comprehend or easier to deal with. So one of those things is a lot of code edits. So here are the code edits that have already been done in the past. So there is a really old video from like 2022 where I increased their weapon range. I just show it off. In the video, it's like 25 range. That is not what's actually in the game. Spears, I think, have 8 or 7, something in that range, instead of the default 5 that they had in the base vanilla game. Melee durability loss has been increased, I believe. And then it's either increased or decreased. I can't remember. It's either from 4% to 3% or 3% to 4%. But anyways, it means your weapon's going to wear out a little bit differently, and it is in sync with Diablo 1. That is the number is the same or similar to Diablo 1. Durability on armor has also been increased, the durability loss. You have multiple pieces of armor, and so you only have a 10% chance of durability loss when you take a hit, and then that's spread across all your armors. Eventually, the armors are going to have a lot less durability, but the difference between heavy armor and light armor will be in some ways lesser in defense and more focused in some aspects of durability. Defense, or your armor rating, is no longer reduced when you're running. This is a common thing that people do in mods, and I don't think that your breastplate disappears because you're moving, and I don't really want to force the player to walk because no one really ever actually used that mechanic outside of maybe very specific, 0.1% of players. So I wanted to remove that for armor. I did not remove the debuff from shields. So when you are running, your shield is at 1/3 of its normal value, which means that if you're standing still, your block chance on a shield is normal when you're attacking or standing still. Block percent is always shown on the stats page. So if you have a 0% block, it'll actually show that. And this means that weapon block always shows. Ethereal item chance, there's 20% instead of 5%. And I was able to recently change this. The weapon durability or item durability when an item becomes ethereal, in the past, they would divide by 2 and then add 1. So if you had 12, it would be 7. Now, I didn't like that. I would rather the ethereal items be double their durability, but then permanently break. So, and in the future, I will probably add a recipe, such as the cube, to make it so that you can repair ethereal items on a kind of regular basis for sort of like the later game. But I'm not at that point with the mod or my refamiliarity with the game itself to care about ethereal items and repairing them at this time. I will eventually probably revert this. I will probably look at the code itself a little bit more at some point, but ammo currently does not cost anything. You just put it in the slot and you just shoot. I would love to eventually make arrows actually, bows actually have durability like melee weapons and have them decrement their durability every so many shots at random, like Diablo 1 did. MP and HP bonuses no longer exist for potions. There's some other stuff here. Resistances can pierce immunities. This is going to require me to change the cold sorceress eventually to some degree. Affix max is enforced. This means that certain items that previously didn't fall out of the selection pool for items, like when they drop, you might get a ring with +1 max damage, but then you get to like level 40 or 50 or 60, and you could pick up another ring, and it'd be +1 to max damage. And how Blizzard actually created the system was, well, they used the column on a various number of things so that you would sort of delete certain low-level affixes. Not all of them, but a lot of the super low levels, like level 1, level 5, something in that range, and kind of default to a slightly higher baseline. And so that is enforced, and it also means that I can use it for my own purposes, though I am not currently using it for much more than what Blizzard attempted to do. Although the whole affix system has been rewritten almost entirely from scratch. Kara gives a rare ring. We should have seen that earlier in the run. And this is a big one. I changed this originally in late July and then again in August. And so I have recently, finally this past week and a half, found some time to sit down and do a bunch of code edits and figure out the debugger a little bit. And so it is much more linear. I will show that actually in a second here. Give me a second here. Oops, wrong button. No, give me the actual graph. So this is the graph. The blue line is the old formula if the characters are at the exact same level. So if you're fighting Andariel, and I think she's something like level 12 or level 13, somewhere in that range, and you're level 12 or whatever, then this is the graph assuming that X is a ratio of 100. So I'm saying like 100 armor. I could just use 1, represent 100%. You get the idea, hopefully. So at 50% attack rating, you would have had, that's not 50%. At 100% attack rating, too many lines here. At 100% attack rating in the old formula, you have 50% chance to hit. And at 200% of the attack rating to armor, so you have 200, they have 100, you would have a 66% chance to hit, or 2/3, a basic diminishing returns formula, which meant to hit 90%, you would need 9 times the value. The new formula is much softer. It's very, very linear. Not completely linear, but much more linear than previously. I need to click this. That, and that. So the new formula is this up here. I've talked about it in a previous video. I just thought I'd show it off. So now when you have double their defense as attack rating, so you have 200, they have 100, you have a 95% chance to hit, which is the current and previous maximum. You couldn't get above 95% chance to hit. And this also applies to all spells now, or like 98% of spells now. So same thing down here. It is originally 50% at 100. Now it's 53%. So attacker does have advantage of 3.33%. It's such a small difference that I'm not currently interested in changing it in any way or fixing the formula. In a perfect world, this would be 50%, and that would be 25%. This does reduce down to 25, sort of, because at 46.8 ratioed to their armor, you would have 25, which is now a minimum. Previously it was 35%. I did change it in the past week and a half to 25%. So just under 50% of attack rating to armor, you will hit that cap, which also means, and this is dangerous, enemies have this too. So enemies can't drop below 25% chance to hit, which means that if you get stuck in a mob, and the mobs are somewhat bigger in Diablo 2 than Diablo 1, and I may need to fix that to some degree, but if you get stuck in a mob, you will get staggered to death, and it is on my plate to eventually change the stagger formula. So that's this. You can always check all 3 of these out at any given time. They are linked under the video. So here's my stretch goal for bows. I want them to be able to be ethereal. I want them to be able to have durability. That is currently off the plate. It's a long-term stretch goal, but we'll see if we can ever get there. I would love to have Zod runes replenish quantity effects and make ethereal throwables actually indestructible. So if you had uh, Titans, javelins, then you would have the Eth Titans are super meta and used on Javazons. The idea would be that you could Zod them, and they truly would be indestructible. When you throw them, you would never run out of quantity. When you melee them, you'd never run out of durability. So the attack rating formula has been done. Just a couple days ago, I did finally update the UI. It's been done since a couple weeks ago. Smite now uses attack rating to the dismay of every paladin ever. But that's just what I'm doing with my mod. The idea is that kind of everything acts the same for the most part, and everything has to roll against attack rating. But the attack rating formula is super, super safe, because if the opponent only has 100 armor, you only need 200 attack rating to cap out, not 1900 like before. So that's a pretty big difference, and much more linear. Armor durability is lost on armor class miss. So it's only lost when the player or the attacker misses in the attack rating formula. And armor only is diminished on melee hits for whatever reason they decided to do that. I'm researching how to change that, but it might take some effort, some serious rewrite. And I'm doing code edits that are all slack space edits. So it's just it's assembly, and you just jump around and just fit things into the places that you have slack space, or you can delete existing commands in the assembly to make some space, depending on what you're trying to do. And that's what I've done for all these other edits. So armor durability and weapon durability, these both kind of trigger at the same location, sort of. Eventually, I'd like to make armor durability lost on all attacks and not just misses. The idea that you're either hitting a vital point and doing damage, or you're hitting a piece of armor and dulling your weapon. So at least right now, you're dulling your weapon on misses, but this creates a double down of loss. You missed and you lost durability. Still only a 4% chance, but you missed and you lost durability. That sucks. So the idea is to take away the suck. Just making it work on all attacks is a long-term goal here, durability. And then I can adjust durability to make sense for melee weapons overall, instead of having to worry about you missing. Shield durability is lost on block. Currently, it's only lost actually when you have an armor check, an armor class check against melee. So because your shield has durability, it rolls as one of the armor types that can lose durability in a normal hit. I would like it to be more block oriented. So in the future, I may be removing, at least drastically reducing, but definitely potentially removing defense from shields entirely. So shields would be more of a utility slot that also gives block. So I think this would offset some aspects of the block formula, as well as the value of shields in general. This would definitely mean that I am going to be nerfing some aspects of the paladin heavily, and would have to buff other aspects of various characters as well. Have shield durability used for smite. I haven't gotten there yet. I would like to even just get to the no durability for smite. Weapons shouldn't lose durability from you using your shield. And this is a complaint that people have had in the past, and I don't even think Diablo 2 Resurrected has fixed this. With the changes to attack rating, I wrote this down before I realized it, but the stagger effect, hit recovery, is kind of bad in Diablo 2, in the sense that it scales with health. So if you are a user that wants to go glass cannon, you don't just sacrifice health, you sacrifice poise, which in the context of like Dark Souls and Salt and Sanctuary, I'm going to call it poise and stagger here. I know where the code is. It is semi-complex. I would need to read through it a little bit. But the idea would be that you would have a higher chance of being staggered based on the heavier hit, but not just every single hit that deals X damage that is above the threshold of, I think, 20% or 12% or something. I think it's 1/8 or something. Maybe it's 16%. I don't know. I just don't remember everything. But right now, if you get hit for, say, 10 damage and you only have 80 health, you're pretty much guaranteed to be staggered if it's a melee hit. I think ranged hits make sense to be a lot lower. I think the whole system needs to be overhauled. And as a side note, Path of Exile 2 is overhauling this. And I'm very excited to see how it actually plays out and feels. They're going to be doing much more of a Dark Souls-like poise system, which is what I've always wanted for Diablo 2 since I've played Salt and Sanctuary and or Dark Souls, and since I got into the genre. I've always wanted Diablo 2 to embrace that a little bit more. Now, I do think that Diablo as a genre is still intended to be random unknowns everywhere. Unknown damage as in a damage range from X to Y, unknown hit chance as a range from, say, 90 to 100% chance to hit. You know, there's all sorts of different things. Random durability loss in Diablo 1 and Diablo 2. No other Diablo really uses durability other than kind of on death with like Diablo 3 and stuff. But that aside, I'm excited to see what Path of Exile 2 does with this system. And I will potentially be getting into some Path of Exile 2 stuff on this channel, though I'm not going to be a Path of Exile 2 channel. So we'll see how that plays out. And also my time and interest in the game itself will be seen. Ethereal items. I already did this up there. I talked about it up there, but yeah, so they have double instead of half durability. And then these are some just other stretch goals I haven't gotten to. This one is probably close by the health regen, so I might be able to find that. Some mechanical notes on Diablo 2. Poison is negative regen in Diablo 2. So they subtract the poison resist, they apply a buff, turns green, your health green, and they create a negative regeneration factor. But whenever you get hit, because the game runs at 25 logical frames and originally was kind of locked frame rate until like Diablo 2 Resurrected or whatever, but effectively the game is locked to frame rate. All the animations are locked to frame rate, all the calculations are locked to frame rate, 25 frames a second. Whenever you get hit by direct damage, the regen function is skipped. I'm not sure exactly how that works or what it looks like yet, but it's skipped, which means that if you are poisoned or if your opponent is poisoned, you're playing a poison necro or a mage, a skeleton mage necro with poison mages, every time they take direct damage, say from your other minions or yourself or your mercenary or whatever, they don't take the tick of regen or poison because those are kind of the same thing, positive and negative aspects within the same category. I'd like to remove that entirely. So to say this would fix both regen and poison in one fell swoop drastically. It won't fix everything wrong with poison, but it will definitely fix some things that definitely affect combat a lot. I'm going to give a shout out to Ginger Gaming Mentor. I watch his stream a lot. He's been doing a lot of Diablo 2 Resurrected and Diablo 4. And he's been, in the past year, he's talked a lot about stuff like this. And while I was familiar with most of it, he did have much deeper knowledge on a lot of it than I did. So check out some of his videos as a shout out to him. And then, and I mean, I've talked about this as well in one of the comment sections on his video as well. You know, we both agree, I think, that the level calculation and the attack rating formula was just a bad decision. I think we agree on that. I hope we agree on that. I sure think that. I was very recently able to do this. There is a flat mana regeneration stat. It's actually used for mana potions, but it's never been used on items. It doesn't have text for items. So I am adjusting everything mostly to be flat mana regeneration. I haven't gotten around to it. So skulls are still like 10% or whatever. But eventually they'll just be like +2, which is like 0.2-ish mana regeneration a second, which means that characters that previously didn't benefit from mana regeneration can now benefit. Overall, what this is it's a way for me to have more control over my character classes and stuff like that. It's all global, so it's not class specific. But same thing with HP regen. Right now, it's a flat 0.5 per second, and mana regeneration is 0.2 plus 1/200th. We'll go down here. So these are the changes right here. So players now have 0.5 health regen per second innately. Eventually, I want to make this. I want this to be like a baseline of like 0.2 or something, and then give it a percentage of your maximum health. So that would mean that you get both, best of both worlds. So increasing your health will be more health-related stuff and less potentially stagger-related stuff in the future. And then in the past, this has already been done a long time ago, but I made a note down here. I am a skill that grant HP regeneration have been increased by double or more. Although I think prayer still kind of sucks, and I probably need to look at that. Mana regeneration. So changed it from max mana divided by 120 seconds to max mana divided by 200 seconds. Previous to this video, it was 1/100, or 1% of your max mana per second. Because I'm adding in the base regen here, the scaling regen is now much smaller. But this means that you still get regen when you put points into mana or spirit in some fashion. Items, whatever. So if you got a ring, Stone of Jordan gives a percentage, like 20% max mana, you will still get this bonus from that increased mana. But this bonus is going to be replacing, well, this bonus is the innate. This bonus is going to be replacing like everything. And then certain things will have percentage values as well, but they're going to be much, much rarer and much, much smaller. So you're not going to be getting like 100% mana regeneration from your gear. You might be getting 15 or 25% mana regeneration from your gear from like a single item. And then all of this, including all of this, actually, all three of these, they're tallied together in the new code. This took me forever. They're tallied together as a ratio, as a value, and so this value is actually just 2, and this value is just 5. It's some math in there, but it approximates those numbers, 0.2 and 0.5. But so you will always have, in this case, something like 0.3 mana regeneration a second baseline. Even the Barbarian, I believe, has 0.3. But in essence, it's a buff to almost every class, but it constrains the top end where you get tons of mana. You're like sitting on 500 mana and you're a sorceress and you've got multiple points into warmth from like plus skills, and suddenly you're regenerating 70 mana a second. I don't want to balance that. I don't want to control it. I don't want to mess with those numbers. I'd rather rein it in and control new numbers. So that's what this is. That's what this all is. Okay. That is it for code edits. That is primarily everything for the changes. I want to jump over here to the Amazon because that's what we're playing. I have finally updated Exploding Arrow and Immolation Arrow. I'm unsure about adding a dexterity stat bonus like Fire Arrow to these, but we will see. I feel like it kind of makes sense to have every skill scale with some kind of stat. if it's using a weapon, because the weapon would scale from that stat. So you're already going to have a bunch of it, but then the skill doesn't scale from that stat. So it feels like kind of lackluster to have the stat on the skill or not, or lackluster not to have the stat on the skill. So bows gain 1% damage from dexterity. It makes sense that maybe these bow skills also would. I did it to fire arrow already because fire arrow is a very basic skill that eventually you'll be able to use as a primary skill. Mana cost has not been changed since the last video. Explosion now applies 100% weapon damage to all targets. I have tested this. It is working. I am amazed that there is a missile function in existence that already allowed this, and I'm very, very happy that it works really, really easily. It is not a code edit. It is a table edit, which means you just change like a number or two, and it works great. So, so it now actually adds physical and fire damage to the attack. Previously, this attack was actually working in a way that didn't allow me to do what I was trying to do. I added physical damage to the attack and cut the damage overall, the skill damage, in half. So it did half physical, half fire. And then I was just kind of slowly incrementing up. So like I cut it in half and then I'd like increased it by like 50% and like another 25%. And I think I ended up getting it to kind of double damage, and it still wasn't doing any damage. Well, I come to find out from Frozen Keep people, Cyprus, that guess what? The original exploding arrow missile function or skill function actually makes it so that the explosion itself, it applies weapon damage, but it only applies the element of the attack. So if you had fire damage on your bow, it would carry that over into the explosion, but all the physical, cold, and lightning are stripped away, including the skill damage that is explicitly set was also being stripped away. So now this actually kills things. It's a little weaker on the skill damage, but I also now have the synergy also perfectly working, it seems, hopefully, crossing my fingers, buffing the physical and fire damage granted by the skill. So when I say synergy, it does have a synergy from fire arrow. We will add that here. It gains 15% damage from fire arrow per level. So, and that is also true of exploding arrow or immolation arrow down here. So since my character also has immolation arrow, although I'm probably not going to be using it because it's completely overpowered and broken, and also like I only have like 50 mana, so that's like extremely expensive and I can't really use it yet. It no longer explodes. So I've removed the explosion damage. It still has bonus fire damage on the hit. It just doesn't explode. So I will probably sync this up, immolation arrow and fire arrow, to have kind of similar damages, where immolation arrow kind of mirrors fire arrow for the initial hit. But then the fire radius has been increased to 5 meters. I don't know what that actually translates to, or if that's even 5 meters. It might be like 3.6. I know some things are like in thirds for quote distance in the game. But fire duration from 3 to 4. Previously, this was from 3 to 2, so there's a massive change in my opinion and direction of the ability. So it is now 4 seconds, which means that it's on par with kind of a mini firewall. You can actually use it to get stuff. And so if something's in your face, you do need to stand still or get them to walk through the fire. And you do need to actually get it to the arrow to hit something and collide to actually create the firewall. I probably should make this explode at max range so that you can actually manipulate that a little bit. I think exploding arrow already does. This is an old change, and this all is this is undone and unsure. But this was previously not working. It was the original 5% still. So if we went into the game and looked at this, the values on this are absolutely insane and way too high, and I will need to fix that. So switching over to the actual game here. 30 minutes of discussion, right? I will put his timestamp in here. Hopefully people notice the timestamp. We are at the Claw Viper Temple. I said that I'd get here. Here's Exploding Arrow now. There's a visual desync a little bit. But you can see that it's not just one-shotting things, but it does definitely do a good amount of damage. We have a composite bow finally. +3 attack rating. That's not very good, but thanks. I did find this while getting to the Claw Viper Temple. This bow is just better. I think it's about 6 max damage better. A lot of belts. I feel like belts drop too much. We did level up here while walking or running. Yes, please. So it's not just instantly killing. There was some desync there. I don't know what was going on. Oh, and the AoE on Fire Arrow or Exploding Arrow is completely wrong right now. I forgot about that. It has been fixed. I just have to like reload the world. And I don't want to do that at the moment. I forgot about that before starting the video or getting to this location. But the explosion radius is 12 instead of like 4 or 3. So it is covering a massive amount of the screen. In playing this game and also modding this game, I have come to some interesting thoughts on how things like arrows could work in a modern Diablo-like. And I don't know if any do this as of the moment. I've not played Last Epoch, maybe someday, and I'm pretty sure Grim Dawn doesn't have anything that does this. But one of the things I think would be interesting. Okay, just all of you die. Would be if arrows were ranged attacks were semi-controllable for where they like exploded. So, for example, if I threw this like at my feet, so to say, it would just explode at my feet. If I threw it like long range, it would explode at long range. And maybe there'd be just like a button to kind of toggle that, so you could do it really quick. Like a control click or something, just whatever. A way to control it so that it's not just constant maybe would be the best way. But just the idea that right now that goes all the way to the wall, and maybe I don't want that, and this is a dead end. Of course it is. And a little bit of a sorry, not sorry. These videos are probably going to start ending up being closer to 90 minutes. If I have the time to record, I'd rather record more. So trying to get in the habit of giving you more content, sort of. Yeah, so not the intention to just destroy everything in the room, but it is the intention to be kind of strong. Primarily against stuff like these skeletons. The idea is that Exploding Arrow is helpful to get rid of ads instead of just simply killing everything in its path. So you can see that we didn't just one-shot the Guardian, and that is, in my opinion, okay. Every new video I put out on this channel, I am generally adjusting and testing my audio. Oh my goodness gracious. Woof. There's definitely some numbers that need to be adjusted with enemies going on here. Salamander hitting me was 25%. I don't think so. That sure felt like way more than 25%. I got hit like 4 times in a row right there. Ooh, a superior Sacred Globe. I'd love to be able to smack things with a Sacred Globe. Oh, these guys have mana burn? Are you kidding me? Yeah, maximum durability. That's what I'm looking for in a Sacred Globe. So that is something I need to fix. Note to self there. But if you're going to get a superior caster weapon, it should it shouldn't be that. We got the amulet. Funny that this amulet's actually like half decent, but you immediately have to get rid of it too. So thanks, Deckard Cane. Okay, let's pair everything. Sell that. Magic damage reduced by 2. That could actually be useful at some point. I don't know. 25% mana or magic items. I'm going to wear that. We'll just sell this. And 4% life, we'll keep that. And oh gosh, dang it. Can't do a quick drop into the thing here. Okay. So referencing kind of the past stuff here. These are missing their shield effect. I don't know what's going on there. They shouldn't be missing a shield effect, but okay. There's another error that I need to fix. I must have been like halfway through an edit and didn't save or something. Life stolen per hit, 1% mana stolen per hit. I don't know how I feel about like all that, but the mana regeneration in the future will be something like 0.2 per skull. And then like the next level might be 0.3. Well, it'll be equivalent to like life regen. So it'd be like 3 life regen equivalency, 3 mana regen. But it approximates to that, to point something. It's actually a value of 25, so like 25, 75, 150 over 256. So it's like 2.4% wrong. So if you have 10 regen, it's like 9 health, 9.5 health kind of thing. Talk to Drognon, but he's rude. I don't want to talk to him. Average chance to hit the salamander. That can't be right. Average chance for them to hit you, 25%. Okay. Now I'm going to have to eventually go test that out because that seems wrong. Way too many health potions. And pick up items. We'll just sell these small ones. I don't even care. Come on, what's the button? I think my keyboard just doesn't sense my presses sometimes, and then it confuses me that I'm pressing the wrong button. Okay. We're going to reload just to make sure that Exploding Arrow has the right radius, and we're not cheating, so to say. Cheating at my own mod. Gosh. How low can I go? 43% chance for me to be hit, 25% chance to hit. They must have really high armor. It's going to take a lot of work to balance the armor attack rating changes, for sure. So there might be some issues here and there. Exploding Arrow is supposed to actually give a hit chance, but I'm going to guess it's not. I'd have to check it. I'd have to test it. Find something I have like no chance to hit. It might also be a situation of it's actually having two chances of hitting, where the arrow hits and the explosion hits, and because of that, even a low hit chance. Oh my goodness. Staggered by these guys. Where did you all come from? I can't move. What's going on? Well, the mod is definitely scarier than the base game, that's for sure. Enemies being able to attack or hit you 25% of the time is it's a lot. I D these boots. Oh baby. Ethereal. Let's not get killed by this guy. Or this guy. Thank you. We're just gonna put these on. Okay, we do have a problem here. What happened was, this is a failed unique, it looks like. I don't know what's going on there, but it's got like a massive, massive, massive amount of durability. So maybe I did the formula wrong, but what's 96 divided by 14? That's oh, this isn't 14. So I don't know what the normal durability on these are, because these aren't chain boots. Let's say this is probably just way too high. My guess is it's like times 4. 96 divided by 4 is what 18? Oh no, I was way off. 24. 24. Samsonite. Oh, this is going to be a room. This is going to be a room. Okay, I am missing, so I don't know about 27%, but yeah, so my attack rating is way too low. Well, most likely their armor is just way too high, but you get the idea. I would argue that these guys shouldn't really have a whole lot of armor. They should just be health bags. Flesh heaps. Meat shields. You get the idea. That's how I feel about, like, at least the horror maze. These couldn't hit me before, so at least they're hitting me now. They don't do any damage, but at least they hit me. Playing this mod has definitely shown me that the hit ratios of enemies was always kind of bad. Like, like, like really bad. What I mean by that is just the range of damage. So those big guys, they hit for like 20. And these small guys hit for like 2. Like, who decided that that was a good idea? Yeah, let's see what these guys hit for. It's probably closer to 15, huh? We went from 70 to 38. Yeah, so one hit for probably like 15 and the other one hit for like 17, something like that. I am currently kind of happy with the ratio of potion drops. I did have them from certain enemies and certain boxes and things. There was just a bunch of stuff that would drop two at a time, and all those treasure class, the lines in the treasure class file, which is the drop pool, basically. It's a table. Uh, this is gonna suck. Okay, 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 okay. Let's not do that. Really? Can you not do that? Let's go back to fire arrow. Okay. Diablo has never been a high time to kill game. It's been primarily oriented like Diablo 1, especially like you kill Diablo himself in like 10 or 8 hits or something with a half decent character on normal. And with like a soldier, because I've done that multiple times. Um, I don't have enough mana to deal with all this crap. We'll get to, can't even use that. Why can I not hit them? Yeah, I'm hitting way more than 25%, but must be something wrong with my math in the display. There's the new immolation arrow. So the damage it's dealing is a little high. Its size might be a tad big, but I really want it to be kind of this firewall, get enemies to stand in it effect, where you actually have to get them to stay there. I think killing all those enemies with it, we actually got mana per kill, though. Killing 8 enemies gives us a ton of mana. Okay. You know what? I'm going to go left. I feel like it's always left. Okay, he just stole 6 mana. Again, that might be a little excessive. Oh, geez. Oh, no. No. Button. The button. Can't do it. One of my goals for things like mana regeneration and potions, and this is something that just makes me very different from probably a lot of designers, so to say, modders, etc. A lot of people love to like buff potions to the point where they're necessary for everything, or they want to, I don't know, put a timer on them, which is kind of one of my more favorite usefulnesses because it means that they're kind of an oh crap button. And We just want to sell these boots. Let's see. Chain boots normally have a durability of 18, so this got 4 times its durability. That is not intended. So I don't know if that's a failed unique or a failed set or something. Or if I just simply did the math wrong. These sucking your mana. I mean, 3 mana per hit would be huge. I think 6 is excessive. I mean, even honestly, with how many that they can exist in the groups of them, 2 would probably be pretty fair. I'm an Amazon. I've actually put points into Spirit. I don't remember how much, but probably just 5 or 10. But the average player is probably not going to put a lot of points into Spirit. They're just going to chug potions. Okay, they are hitting me way more than 25%, and I am hitting them way more than 25%. So something is definitely off for the UI calculations. Yeah, I got to move a number around somewhere. It's all hard-coded assembly stuff. Because, you know, I don't have the source files for the game. You know, that'd be nice. I don't think Blizzard's gonna just hand those over, though. But, like, kill one of these guys. We'll kill one of them. Come on. Just a little bit more. One of them has to die. Okay. 1 miss. 1 hit. 2 hit. 3 hit. 4 hit. Yeah, that's not 25%. Either that or he was the luckiest little ghost ever. Fun but weird fact. If items drop in from flying enemies off the edge here, they're gone for good and they never actually show up. So those wraiths, for example, they can be killed out of bounds, basically, and have that happen. Okay, not exactly my favorite item there. Oh, how much I want to be lucky and actually have the right side of this maze. Are you kidding me? Right through the middle of all of you and you moved. What is that, a refilling shrine? Some mana per kill definitely makes the exploding arrow actually work. Okay, these guys do too much damage. They shouldn't be hitting me that much either way, but there we go. Oh, it sucks to miss those so bad. That went right through him. I'm not crazy, right? That went right through him. A crit. Like shooting fish in a barrel. Kind of. Come on. A double axe. Hmm. Actually, not bad of a weapon. 5 to 13 or something. I don't think this is the right side. Okay. Not that that really helps, but it does give me space to run. Oh, this refreshed. Nice. I appreciate it. So those ghosts do have a chance to drop mana potions. I do like that because they specifically because they do steal your mana. But I would probably, I don't know, thinking about each enemy individually, which is what I'm trying to kind of do slowly, is things like skeletons. They should have a high chance to not be hit, so to say, is my opinion of that. I'm pretty sure this isn't the way, but now I've got to commit. How soon can I get penetrate or pierce? 18% chance. Whenever you hear that sound, move, because it means something's coming for you. I think it might be faster to just walk there, especially since I need more potions. Not where I'm going. Faster hit recovery. 10 vitality. Of zest is apparently not probably a capitalization issue. Can't find the string. That's 20 health. Currently, that might actually help me to just not get staggered. I don't know. It's also more defense, which pretty sure all that's wrong. My guess is I forgot to multiply by 100 or something here. So my attack rating to chance to hit like a ghoul lord, maybe it's like, 100%, and then it's not. I don't know. Something's adding wrong. Swear I tested that. Oh, uh, I didn't click the Arcane Sanctuary waypoint. Good job. Oh, I didn't open that. So I'll make sure to do that in future. So the idea here with the whole mana and health thing is that if you have 100 health, you would, for the regeneration stuff that I've been changing, is that if you have 100 health, you'd have 1 health per second, just free. And that would be at least part of the idea there. And then to get the same value out of mana, you'd need double. So, 1% from life and 0.5% from mana. So you'd need 200 mana to get 1 mana regeneration. But you still have the flat values that I would give you as well. So it wouldn't just be only that. So for health, it'd probably be something like, I don't know, 3 plus 1%. For mana, it's 2 plus 0.5%. For health right now, it is, I'm gonna just go left. Left again here. I don't have a stamina potion, do I? Oh yeah, I'm gonna remove the max durability crap off of this. I liked it for a moment, but then honestly, it's the clutter that irritates me more than anything else. Yeah, that's how I feel. I like these guys better in Diablo 1. They have a really funny animation where they attack you and then they just they spin. They do a little spin. I also have come to just really enjoy Diablo 1 in a lot of ways because of how kind of non-serious it is. There's a quest in there where like a bunch of devilkin fallen dudes, they steal the tavern sign and you return the sign and the guy is super thankful, but it's like just kind of silly. It's simple, but it's silly. Diablo 2 is not exactly like not silly. That's the wrong button. I was going to do this one. I stand in my own flames. I wonder if there's a way to make those hit you. And then no one plays the mod because Immolation Arrow and Fire Arrow actually hurt you. Or Firewall. Something I'm not sure if we'll see in Path of Exile 2, just to cover that topic a little bit more and fill the air a little bit, is there is going to be unarmed gem slots, which is, it just sounds interesting, and I might have to try that even really early on in some builds there. Primarily because Path of Exile is a free-to-play game. I think it allows you to really decide for yourself if you like it, you know? I'm not saying all games should be free-to-play, but that one is definitely a game where, because of its level of complexity, it's helpful. Yeah, so Immolation Arrow is probably too big. What I would argue for is maybe having access to Pierce earlier. Also, piercing, having a different system might be interesting. Right now, if sorry, I just got completely sidetracked. But right now, if you shoot something and it pierces, the chance to pierce is like halved every time it goes through something, and it has a maximum of like 3 pierces or 3 targets. But in Path of Exile 2, the topic I was trying to talk about before my gameplay ruined it, there is... Ooh. There is a... strong value to the simplicity that they're adding, and also the kind of new mechanics that they're adding to. And I'm really curious to see how it plays out. One of the things that I'd really like to see, though, in any Diablo-like, in the top-down genre itself, is some more MOBA-esque feel, arcade-style feel, which I think is surprisingly not present in a lot of things. We're just going to wear this. Slap that in there. Is this a dead end? What happened here? Did I miss something here? I didn't even know there could be a dead end. Can there be a dead end? I'm confused. I don't think I've ever seen a dead end like this before. Is this common? Oh, because I'm never mind. Ignore me. Because I'm going left down, not left up. I was thinking that that was the top. It's hard to talk and play at the same time for me. Don't judge, please. Wait. What's going on here? Am I stupid? Yes, I am stupid. I can't math. That's 20 health, not 10. Um, I think finally getting to my point here. I think it would be really cool to see more, maybe not cooldown style play, but play where attacks are more situational and conditional in that sense of I need mana. So kind of like a Dark Souls style. I'm just wearing that straight up, just a lot of armor. Gives me more than my current chest piece, and it's still a dead end. I'm going to guarantee you that no matter what direction I choose, I will always find the thing like third or fourth. But hey, if we go back down this way, we will probably level up. So like having the situation where you want to swing your sword and then, do a stab, and then when you're done doing the stab, you want to do a shield bash, and then maybe actively block or something, like kind of a top-down strategic feel to it would be really interesting, I think. Diablo 1 is extremely stat-based in mana management, or stat management, resource management. You got durability, you've got kind of this horror feeling, survival horror feeling, and I love that aspect of Diablo 1. Diablo 2 doesn't feel so terrifying, so grim, surprisingly. As soon as you can kill the enemy, instead of just having utter horror at their idea of existence, then let's see here. This was ethereal, right? Durability 60. Yeah, so I think it's doubling properly. Like right there, like making decisions in the combat, I think is something that just is sometimes lacking. Whether it be Grim Dawn or Path of Exile or whatnot, Diablo, it's common to basically force those decisions out of either some minor cooldowns or major cooldowns or um, mana costs or whatever. But what about combat purpose? You know, like there's stuff like Diamond Skin or Stone Skin or something like that in Path of Exile. It lasts for like 2 seconds. This has a purpose. Now it's still very heavily timed, so it invalidates like my previous sentence. But why do these guys hit so hard? Go away! Not what I was trying to do. Go way. Yeah, there never is. Never is enough, huh? Ow. I feel like that's what the martial arts tree was trying to do back in the day. I've been trying to think about other things I can change with like martial arts, and one thing I probably will change is things like Phoenix Strike might not be a martial art in the sense of a 3-hit charge, and even then, I might change the remaining charges to be only 2-hit charges. So I don't know. One of the issues with that is the charge up skills just don't fit in a game like Diablo 2. Not really. Um, and due to how things like attacks require attack rating in the base game, martial arts just end up being a combination of uh, do you use this or do you use that instead of do you use them together? And which is kind of sad. Oh, that was close. 11%. Okay, rares are still very heavily outclassing magical items, and I wanna fix that. I do think that they should be uh, better. What do I want here? This gains 6 damage a level. This gains 3 damage a level. That's something that is problematic for me. Is that upgrading a fire arrow, it makes it do more and more physical damage, and then it also as a percentage of conversion, and then it also causes it to just get like a very minimal amount of damage. So 3 per level versus exploding arrows. Uh, you know, uh, it's 2 minimum times 2 because of damage and fire damage both, and then the 3 damage on the other side. So it's like 4 to 6. So this is 3 to 3, and this is 4 to 6. So this is getting an average of 5 damage. It's getting an average of 3, and you're just going to eventually want only one of those. And that's not my goal with that. And the original Diablo 2 sort of tried to solve this by simply saying, oh, this is going to go up in mana costs forever, indefinitely. And I don't like that solution either because of the sake of it's a moving target, and it just means that you're constantly having to invest more and more into mana to do the thing slightly better you were already doing. I'm okay with it if it was like, let's say Exploding Arrow only had, one extra skill level or some kind of side skill where Grim Dawn has these great side skills where you can kind of like transmute or convert an ability. By the way, this is socketed. That's huge. 1 to strength, 1 to dexterity, 3 to vitality, -3 to spirit, 28% enhanced defense, summon wolf, poison resistance, and a socket. That's just silly. But it's not like end of the world great. It's good, but it's not broken, super overpowered. Oh my gosh, there's so many of these stacked up. I am not capable of moving. That's what I mean by enemies do too much damage, they hit too often, and they stagger too often. I don't know what these guys' attack rating is. I'm okay with them hitting often. I think undead just generally should probably hit often. Like if a zombie comes up to you, you don't want to get hit by that zombie, period. Like that's zombie rules like 101. You don't want to get bitten, you don't want to get scratched. So if a zombie comes up to you, it makes sense that you're going to lose a ton of health. If a ghost touches you, kind of the same thing. It makes sense. Don't get touched by ghosts. I think I just had a critical potion there. I didn't remove critical potions. I don't know if I care enough to actually take the time to remove them either. Come on. He's hiding behind this pillar. Oh, wasted mana. So much wasted potential. Oh, geez, there's a named dude. In somewhat of a historical sense of like archers, it wasn't uncommon for them to like have a sword and like light armor. Just I've been playing Salt and Sacrifice for a series that I'm going to eventually release and try something different with it with the YouTube channel there. And come on, Fire Enchanted, huh? Here's how I feel about that. Come back here. The immolation arrow fire needs to be smaller. I can't see. That's it's kind of intense. But imagine like having a character in a Diablo like where you're actually using your weapons. I would love to see more weapon play. It's one of the big things that actually turns me off to Path of Exile is that in the late game, you basically are just going at 500 attack speed and all this other stuff. And it's a nice power fantasy, but it's not the kind of power fantasy I want. And I really appreciate the idea of something different, I guess. And that's not to say that Path of Exile is wrong. That, you know, Diablo 2 gets the same way. But it would just be nice to see a game that doesn't go into this superhero power fantasy at the level of mobility and damage scaling that a lot of those games do. Oh, please. Let me have my mana, please. I can't do this. Okay, I'm just gonna end here. Something's coming up, so that's all the time I have to record. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed the beginning part. Definitely skip if you don't care. If you do care, that's great too. Like, subscribe, comment, say something, interact. I'd like to know that there are people out there that actually enjoy this content. I really enjoy making this mod. I hope that other people can enjoy the ideas within it. And eventually I will do an actual release of the mod so that if you really want it, you can play it too. Until next time, see you around.